Shalom, shalom and welcome. This is Yashar'al, Living Orders and Commands. It is part of an end-time series of messages I am compelled to present before those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. Today is May 6, 2015, and these are the words I am compelled to present to an awakening nation. This is part 2 of a multi-part segment entitled The Pain in Obedience. If you're tuning in for the first time, I strongly encourage that you at the very least consider listening to part 1 and listening to this segment in sequential order. If you are one that is returning, I salute your patience, your tolerance, your zeal, your desire to pursue set apartness. With that said, let me continue to speak on the 8 specific things, though there may be more, and I will not dispute that, but 8 things that I want to present regarding the pain in obedience. The first one was the pain in obedience being refined to know what is important as it relates to our belief, discernment, and knowing the person of Yahuwah, the Almighty One, knowing His word manifest in the flesh in the person of Yahushua Messiah, knowing that His set-apart spirit was sent in Yahushua's name. The second one, the pain in obedience, as we come to understand what is necessary as it relates to dealing with resistance, rebellion, and or confusion. My brothers and sisters, living orders and commands are beginning to magnify before us, and we will face truth and witness the pain in obedience. We will witness it come as it relates to falling into unity and coming away from resistance, rebellion, and confusion. Resistance of what is indeed true. You see, many of us have become so entangled with compromising camps, fellowships, and assemblies that we have embraced compromising teachings, practices, and behaviors. And because we have become so entangled, it has become painful for us to come away from such due to the comfort levels of wickedness of which we have obtained. Violating the directions from the Spirit of Yahushua in the Scriptures, as we are made aware of such because of an entrenched habit, because of being in an erroneous camp too long, it will be somewhat painful to be freed from such. Scriptures inform us, my brothers and sisters, about the consequences of a house being divided against itself. I assure you, Yashar'al, as we are waking, the pain of obedience comes, and we will face reproof and discipline in such a way that we will become weakened and made humble. I submit to you the set-apart spirit of Yahushua Messiah will deliver us, and we will step away from resisting set-apart instructions, living orders, and commands. Our resistance to what is set apart will prove sometimes an action that we are unaware until our eyes are opened more clearly and our ears are unclogged. Our rebellion against the obedience of the Spirit of Yahushua will weaken as we are reproved and corrected. The confusion between when a day starts and begins, the confusion behind who is right, what language we should be speaking, will be brought to an end. And yes, it will be painful, whether we admit it or not. And I am not here to promote the matter of pain. I am here merely to speak on the realities of growing into maturity. And where there is pain, there is comfort. The comfort is knowing that our Father, our Almighty Father, loves us and is in the process of perfecting us. The third thing specifically related to the pain and obedience is reproof and repentance. My brothers and sisters, we will also face the pain and obedience as it pertains to being reproved, as it pertains to being disciplined, so that it brings us to repentance. The times are here, and we must face reproof. We will move towards a repenting state for those who will fulfill the final exodus, for those who will be among the ranks of Yashar'al, who will stand out and the world will come to know as the children of Yahuwah, an awakening nation. Repentance as it relates to remembering where we have fallen and turning back to the Almighty Father Yahuwah through the living orders and commands from the Spirit of Yahushua, our sovereign, will come. Let's face it, most of us claim to hunger for set apartness, but what we witness in our actions represent a reluctance or hesitance to yield to correction. There are many who will argue and fight and defend their actions. There are many who will kick against living orders and commands. There are many who will try to say that they're coming from man and fail to measure the words coming from a man, fail to measure them according to the scriptures to see and discern whether it is the Spirit of Yahushua speaking through a brother or a sister to bring about the correction. There are many who kick and fight and struggle. But who is most Almighty? Who is the Almighty One? Yahuwah is his name. And I submit to you the Spirit of Yahushua will break through the stiff-necked, the stubborn, those who are indeed his children, those who will receive orders and commands, those who will be humbled and refined and corrected. Now, brothers and sisters, the days of defending erroneous actions without examining ourselves will be weakened and made to naught. Remember, judgment begins at the house of the Almighty Father first. That is us, my brothers and sisters. That is the one in the mirror. That is us one towards another. Keep in mind the Almighty Father promises discipline. And I assure you, even in the midst of reproof, we will witness the demand, yes, the demand for repentance. And there will be pain, the pain in obedience. Please, please, please pay close attention. I did not say, absolutely not say, that there might be pain or maybe there will be pain. I said there will be pain in obedience. The fourth specific category as it relates to the pain in obedience is in leaving, coming away. Yes, my brothers and sisters, it is a common fact that we have known and witnessed many brothers talk about coming away, coming away. But who has given thought to the meaning of these words, from their simplest definition and function to the magnitude of what's to come when the final exodus emerge before our eyes? My brothers and sisters, I mentioned in times past how I am compelled to believe there will be a final exodus. I've also stated on many occasions how I am persuaded, by whom I believe is the Spirit of Yahushua, that there will be forced transitions, forced migrations, forced movement. It is ahead during these end times. While many will rather embrace the notion that when the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach come, or when the two witnesses of Revelation emerge, the world will see them because of our cell phones and the internet, and all around the world we'll see Yahushua, our Mashiach, return because of the internet and cell phones and technology. I submit to you that the habitations on this planet would have been laid waste, with the exception of the span of the horizon in the region where life began. In other words, most of the world will be uninhabitable. There will be many deaths, billions on top of billions killed and destroyed. And those who will be physically alive during the physical return of Yahushua Messiah will be within the horizon of the vision point to witness him. I assure you, it's not going to be people all over the world with cell phones and cameras and technology acknowledging his coming. But getting back to the subject of leaving or coming away, there will be forced transitions, my brothers. Given all that I've presented, I have no doubt that as we begin to find ourselves being moved, yes, it will be interpreted as forcibly being moved due to conditions on this planet, the children of obedience will come to accept. It is the pain in obedience that will emerge, and that there will be comfort in knowing and understanding what must be done. So many of us, when we look at the word comfort, we think that is merely someone patting us on our back or hugging and embracing us. Comfort, my brothers and sisters, I submit to you, holds a function of which enables us to press forward because we understand this must come to be. Comfort says, quit fighting it, quit struggling. Comfort says, relent, yield, obey the set apartness from the living spirit of Yahushua Messiah. As I stated in times past, there are 4 basic things we need to survive. And yes, I am aware that man doesn't live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the Almighty Father. But know this, it is by his words that we live. It is by his words that he has designed us to eat food, to drink water, to breathe air. So those 4 basic things I submit to you, again, fresh air, fresh water, food, and a safe place to live. Believe it or not, all 4 of these things are being challenged as this message goes forth. The pain in obedience comes, and we will begin to face the realization of leaving. Yes, not only leaving our house, our home, our apartment, our tent, camp, trailer, wherever. We will be leaving. There will be a coming away. Many conveniences that we have come to know will be a thing of the past. It is time to begin to prepare our minds and bodies. It is time to have these discussions among Yashar'al. There will be a coming away like never before imagined. There will be, in leaving, we will find ourselves leaving loved ones or things that we have come so accustomed to having in our lives. The pain of obedience. The pain in obedience, as we discover that we are ordered to come away from such matters, will prove to be true in the coming days. Prepare, O Yashar'al. It will be painful for many, and we will discover truth on the matter regarding leaving and coming away from people or things, as we are ordered by the Most High Father through the Spirit of Yahushua Mashiach. Yes, ordered, demanded. There will not be a passive request or suggestion. Pray and watch, and you will see the power and might of the Almighty Father humble those whom he will use to fulfill these end-time prophecies. Orders, my brothers and sisters, directives by the Spirit of Yahushua. They will come through those whom he chooses to convey the message. It will prove to be a time of pain, but nevertheless, we will submit. Again, remember, there are many things in scriptures that do not come with a might or maybe. They are absolutely not passive. They are demands. They are orders. We serve an Almighty One, and through his set-apart Spirit sent in Yahushua's name, it will become clearer and clearer in the coming days. Yahushua, who is absolutely not returning to be slaughtered again as a sacrificial lamb. Yahushua Mashiach coming back as the sovereign of Yashar'al, true Yashar'al. Those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuwah, our sovereign, Yahushua Messiah, return soon. We will face a final exodus, with the exception of those who will be martyrs for Yahushua's name and those who will be led astray. Remember, the scriptures speak of a falling away during end times. The pain and obedience comes, and it's real. Keep in mind what I stated as it relates to leaving and coming away. The 5th point, pain and obedience as it relates to purging, removal. Now, I know many of you would say coming away and purging is both the same, but I submit to you there's a difference. There is a difference. Just as I mentioned regarding coming away, so will it be regarding purging wickedness from among us. Let me convey the difference between coming away and purging. If you have not experienced the difference, ask around, and you will not have to look far to discover the truth of what I'm about to share. Many have come away from a matter with ease, for all too often there's little discussion when it comes to coming away. You've seen it, I've seen it. People just simply step away or remove themselves, they come away without discussion, without explanation. We've seen it. We've seen people just move forward, and sometimes they'll just move forward and not say a word. We've seen it even when it comes to shopping or patronizing a business or visiting a business. If we get poor service or a poor product, most people don't return to that place of business. We see it when it comes to fellowshipping with others. There are those who, if they're not satisfied, will all too often just leave and rarely return without saying a word. I submit to you, there is a difference between coming away versus purging and removal. I assure you that purging oftentimes requires commands being made. Purging oftentimes requiring telling a person or people to leave. Purging oftentimes requires communication of removal that can become or be perceived as confrontational. We will witness being fortified in the strength of set apartness and having the boldness to order people from out our midst. We will see as Yashar'al is gathered from the four corners of the earth, there will be times of purging wickedness from among us. And there will be those who will raise their heads and their fists up and say, "Make me." And we will witness the hand of the Most High Father do what is necessary to bring about a purging. Let us know that the Almighty Father knows what is necessary and what must be done. And just as we witnessed servants in days of old in the scriptures speak the words of warning and stand back and watch the hand of the Almighty Father Yahuwah purge wickedness from the camps, so will we see similar actions in the coming days. The time, my brothers and sisters, is now to prepare our minds, bodies, and soul to face the challenge of purging people and things from our midst. Being sensitive to the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua and not afraid to speak boldly, ordering someone to leave our presence. Those who will be among the children of obedience, who will be gathered from the four corners of the earth, we will face the pain in obedience as it relates to purging. Yes, there will be leaders, chosen leaders, that will execute right rulings and judgments that will result in the purging of wickedness and evil from among us. There will be living orders and commands given to us individually through the leaders of Yashar'al, complete with directives for purging people and things as we face our final exodus. The next thing that we face as it relates to the pain and obedience, my brothers, is as it relates to birth. We know that the word birth, in more ways than many, represents the birth of a person, an individual, the birth in a plant or animal. We have also been exposed to the words, the birth of a star in space. Scriptures foretell that end times will be as a woman in travail. Who is aware of the following? 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 1 through 4. I want to read this, my brothers and sisters. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, 1 through 4. It reads as follows. Now, brothers, as to the times and the seasons, you do not need to be written to, for you yourself know very well that the day of Yahuwah comes as a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety, then suddenly destruction comes upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. But you, brothers, are not in the darkness, so that that day should overtake you as a thief. Now, notice it did not say that you're not in darkness, that you can escape labor pains, but it said that you are not in darkness, that it should overtake you as a thief. Clearly, my brothers and sisters, the birth of a life is a beautiful thing. Clearly, we have witnessed either directly or by someone telling a story regarding the birth of a life. I submit to you, just as one described the full experience of labor pains before life appears, we will witness the pain in obedience. We will witness the birth of life as things appear to unfold before us, things that may appear to be new, things that may become more clear as our eyes are open. And it will be a transition, like one giving birth. End times will prove to be a time of much pain as we discover things will not be the way we had expected them to be, or the way we were taught. As details emerge regarding our final days before the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach, we will face intense challenges. There will be new things that will go before us, transforming our minds, our bodies, our position of belief and obedience. The pain in obedience, my brothers and sisters, it comes as, and some will argue, why is he saying new things? Because Ecclesiastes clearly say there's nothing new under the sun. I'll submit to you, my brothers and sisters, you can hang on to the literal and the contextual and believe that, or you can yield to the spirit of Yahushua and realize there will not be multiple sacrifice on the tree. There will not be multiple end times. We are facing the final days before the seat of judgment of the Almighty Father. So discern and wake up, my brothers and sisters. The realities of what is written is unfolding before our very eyes. There will be many encounters of things made clear as the Spirit of Yahushua execute living instructions and in guidance, reproof, and discipline. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. The pain and obedience comes, and we will experience being participants of labor pains or birthing pains. The unfolding of living orders and commands, of which will cause many of us to struggle, will prove that we will yield and accept the presence of the Spirit of Yahushua rising within us and among us. Even when we find ourselves at the shores or the banks of a major body of water, awaiting the next instructions to make our transition as we are gathered from the four corners of the earth, we will find ourselves facing the pain, but yet the birth or rebirth of an awakening nation. We will have individuals among us reflecting on those left behind or those who are not participants. But knowing what's ahead, knowing with each passing day what is coming to pass, knowing that our redemption draw close, it will prove to be the birth of an awakening nation. Not maybe, not might, but will be fulfilled. I will pause right here and invite you to stay tuned as we continue, my brothers and sisters, with the multi-part segment, once again entitled, The Pain and Obedience Comes. Stay tuned for part 3. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.